Welcome on Half 2-4. Today in the issue, Tottenham officially blew up the world transfer market and intercepted from under nose of Manchester United Matas Fernandez for record money. Also today, we'll tell how Londoners overplayed Manchester City and fight for Sandro Tonali, having paid to Newcastle cosmic £100 million sterling clean. About all this and much other, we speak right now. London Tottenham officially blew up the world transfer market of summer of 2026 year and turned into the main newsmaker of the planet. The leadership of the club completely changed the financial strategy and limits, having opened unlimited monetary taps for construction of a super team under leadership of Roberto De Zerbi. Real epicenter of this summer scuffle became a grandiose transfer hijack, in which Tottenham not simply signed the elite Portuguese midfielder of West Ham, Matheus Fernandes, for record £85 million sterling, and dealt a humiliating reputational blow to Manchester United. Still at the end of May and in the first half of June, precisely the Manchester United were considered absolute favorites in the race for 21-year-old Portuguese leader. His moving to Old Trafford seemed questions of several days. Process leadership of Manchester United managed to lose the player from own pocket through fatal slowness in negotiations. Bosses of West Ham from the very beginning ultimately demanded for Matheus Fernandes £85 million sterling of fixed sum, since the Hammers flew out into the Championship and urgently needed live money for closing of financial holes. United instead began to cheat on the structure of payments, trying to knock down the price to £65 million, the rest of sum to break into difficult-to-achieve bonuses for victory in the Premier League or Champions League. While Manchester bargained for each million, Tottenham came on negotiations and without any questions laid out all sum of clean, fixed payment guaranteed by banks. Except financial concreteness, key trigger of this transition became personal factor of Roberto De Zerbi. Italian specialists several times phoned Matheus, detailedly presented to him project of the new tactical scheme in London and explained that Matheus Fernandes will be player of starting squad and main engine of renewed Tottenham. The Portuguese was so impressed by persistence of the coach that instantly gave green light to his representatives on signing of contract with London, having left Manchester United with nothing. Now Mancunians forced are urgently to switch attention on other transfer targets, in particular Eduardo Camavinga from Real, although for now Frenchman not wants to leave Madrid, and this is main obstacle for this transition. Process on this, bosses of Tottenham and Roberto De Zerbi even not thought to stop. Club already won exhausting transfer battle for Italian halfback of Newcastle Sandro Tonali, having put end to all rumors. Situation around 26-year-old midfielder reached to his final point despite aggressive attempt of Manchester City to intercept player in last moment. New mentor of citizens Enzo Maresca personally went out on entourage of Sandro Tonali, trying to overbeat proposal of Londoners. Logic of Manchester City was pragmatic, since leader of citizens Rodri in summer forced is to lie on operation through old injury and will miss all preseason preparation. Bernardo Silva already transitioned to Real Madrid. Enzo Maresca saw in Sandro Tonali backup option of top level for his new scheme, where Italian would manage tempo of attacks and advance ball forward. But City was late, because Sandro Tonali ultimately refused Enzo Maresca. Italian clearly gave to understand to agents that gave word to his countryman Roberto De Zerbi and will play exclusively under his leadership. Both they are homegrown players and former players of Brescia, so factor of calls of De Zerbi became decisive. And himself player long ago dreamed to live in the capital of England. To not lose such mega deal, Tottenham enacted strategic decision completely to satisfy financial requirements of Newcastle and agreed to crossmark in £100 million sterling clean without account of bonuses. This cosmic sum to pieces destroyed previous transfer record of Londoners, which belonged to Dominic Solanke. Sandro Tonali will become first player in history of club for whom will pay 9-digit figure. Himself contract coordinated on 6 years until summer of 2032 year. A basic rate of Sandro, together with light bonuses, will reach crazy £300,000 sterling on week, what will make him one of most paid players in dressing room of Spurs. Lawyers already format final documents. A Tottenham creates most expensive duet of midfielders of this summer. Parallel with this grandiose construction in center of field, transfer office on head with Johan Lange already closed several other super important transitions, having made powerful accent on full repair of line of defense and goalkeeper position. In particular, for £52 million, Sterling from Brighton was bought out, promising central defender Jan Paul van Hecke, who became fifth most expensive transfer in history of London club. De Zerbi personally insisted on reunion with Frenchman, who knows how wonderfully to launch attacks with short pass. For strengthening of center of defense, as free agent came strong Argentine defender Marcos Senesi from Bournemouth. Left flank of defense strengthened 32-year-old captain of national team of Scotland, Andrew Robertson, who left Enfield as free agent and brought to team that colossal winning experience of which Spurs catastrophically lacked, having received from coach Captain Band. Full reorganization past So and goalkeeper line. Since Guglielmo Vicario officially put out on sale, leadership signed experienced Martin Dubravka as free agent on backup. At the same time, club concluded new long-term contract with talented Antonin Kinski, who now receives real chance to fight for status of first number of team in new season. Also, De Zerbi conducts serious cleaning of former ballast, where most loud decision became sale of former leader of defense Cristian Romero. Argentine finally ruined relations with club at the end of past season, when in the middle of fierce fight for survival, flew to homeland to watch football through what Johan Lange put out defender on transfer with price tag in £50 million sterling. Despite recent attempt of Cristian Romero to apologize and remain in London, leadership answered with tough refusal through purchase of Jan Paul van Hecke, a himself player, now chooses between proposals from Madrid, Atletico, and Barcelona. But here there is nuances. Process now not about this, except Cristian Romero, team left defensive midfielder Yves Bissouma, who went for free after completion of contract. A young forward Alejo Velez was sold into Brazilian Bahia for £8 million sterling. Here now, when we see all picture, arises logical question how club without European cups throws out such sums and not violates rules of financial sustainability of Premier League. If to calculate clean guaranteed checks for newcomers, then sum of expenditures of Tottenham straight right now already reach £237 million sterling. Here enter $85 million for Matas Fernandez, over $100 million for Sandro Tonali, and $52 million for Jan Paul van Hecke, not accounting solid signing bonuses to agents of free Andrew Robertson, Marcos Senesi, and Martin Dubravka. Secret of such purchasing capacity hides in that family, Lewis, which possesses club, accomplished direct injection of capital in size of £100 million. Sterling live money, especially under rebuilding of De Zerbi, what legally raised transfer plank of Spurs, to that more works-wise, accounting depreciation. When Tottenham buys Mateus Fernandes for $85 million on 5 years, in financial report of current year is credited altogether $17 million. Initial planned budget of club on June constituted £250 million sterling, and he almost completely is exhausted. Process, with account of large-scale unloading of dressing room through sale of Cristian Romero, Richarlison, and goalkeeper Guglielmo Vicario, which summarily must bring to club over £100 million sterling. Final limit of expenditures of Londoners on this summer substantially expanded and moved far beyond mark in £350 million. Precisely, therefore, having huge free financial stock, Tottenham now completely switches on line of attack because Italian mentor demands summarily 9 new players for summer. And here begins most interesting. On forward line, Tottenham tries to format true bomb, having launched negotiations regarding signing of 26-year-old Serbian forward Dusan Vlahovic. Forward officially became free agent since his contract with Juventus finished 30th of June. Negotiations regarding extension completely failed through financial appetites of player. Juventus demanded lowering of salary, while Dusan Vlahovic wanted €8 million of pure income. Tottenham tries to use moment and for free take forward of such caliber. Spurs ready to satisfy his financial requests regarding salary, but to them necessary is to withstand crazy competition for Serb. Parallel, Roberto De Zerbi assaults Manchester City regarding transfer of 22-year-old Brazilian winger Savinho, in whom sees ideal left forward under his tactical model. Brazilian past season mostly went out on substitutions on Etihad Stadium and became only deep reserve player. Londoners insist on annual loan with right or obligatory buyout, and himself, Savinho, very favorably looks on moving to the capital. Attempt to strengthen other flank with stellar Frenchman Magnus Ecliouche from Monaco for £60 million failed. Since player refused all English clubs and chose Paris Saint-Germain, process most loud dream of De Zerbi remains Brazilian Rodrygo from Real. Madrid demands £77.5 million sterling, and Tottenham, thanks to new capital, has these money and actively probes soil around this mega transfer, but this transfer for now blocks himself, Rodrygo. And now let us soberly analyze perspectives of this renewed Tottenham. With a count of all signings, Londoners accomplish most large-scale and most expensive tactical leap in its history. By essence, Tottenham for several months passed path from real threat of fight for survival and shameful 17th place to creation of squad, which obligated is to fight for title of Premier League. Look on this selection of players. De Zerbi received defensive line, which knows how ideally to come out from under pressing through short pass thanks to Jan Paul van Hecke and experience of Andrew Robertson. A center of field, Sandro Tonali, Matas Fernandez. Gallagher by its potential, dynamics, intellect, and volume of draft work in a flash becomes one of strongest not only in England, so and in all Europe. This is ideal balance between pressing, interceptions, and thin conducting of game through long passes of Sandro Tonali. A yet will be serious strengthening of attacking line, which yet will add to team power. Leadership of club finally understood that half measures more not work and completely trusted to system of Italian coach. Of course, rebuild team after deep crisis for one summer. This is crazy challenge, and pressure of press after spent hundreds of millions will be simply crazy process. If Sandro Tonali and Matheus Fernandez from first tours will find mutual understanding, a Johan Lange will close transition of Dusan Vlahovic and Savinho, this Tottenham will be capable to fight for highest places. On us waits fantastic season, where Spurs more not will be laughing stock and become grim force. Write in the comments whether believe you that Tottenham with Sandro Tonali and Matheus Fernandez can accomplish miracle and win Premier League.